Hey, what's up guys? Tukey here, back again, and today it is the start of a brand new adventure here on NHL 20. It's a series that people have been expecting for a while, and while I have a couple of series that I still want to get to with NHL 20, it is finally time for this to go down. The Nation United series, you look at the past, mixed results, to say the least. And now it's time to see if we can turn those fortunes around. In this series, we will be using only Russian players. There's no USSR thing like, oh, you can use Belarus and Ukraine. No, only Russian players. Now, this is not a draft to glory, so yes, if I can manage to get my hands on Alex Ovechkin or Nikita Kucherov, that's fair game. Free agency plays a factor, and as a matter of fact, at the start of this series, we will be going through the expansion draft. Now, I might not be able to take all Russian players through the expansion draft. That's okay. Obviously, once their contracts are up or whatever, we can get rid of them. We'll try to make it an all-Russian team as soon as possible. But like I said, there are some other ideas at play as far as what could happen later on this year. But right now is the right time. You look at the Finland series that we had last year. If you watch that series, you know how that went down, for better or worse. And we'll see whether or not this works out for us this year. Especially because I'm a sadist. Player morale is absolutely on, which is going to suck. And then you also factor in the way players just don't seem to develop this year, the chemistry system, the fact that we have the number 4 overall pick in this extra drafts. We'll see what happens here for us. But like I said, at the very least, even though it is a challenge series, it's a little bit more straightforward. We can get those already established players, so trades are factored in. I'm excited for this, and I hope you guys are too. If you are, by the way, I have to ask, like every other YouTuber, drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Click the bell if you want to. I won't tell you to do that. I mean, I just did, but I won't tell you to do that because I know how annoying it is. But I did want to say that I do apologize. Number one, the series that we had just finished did go on a little bit longer than they should have. And that is just due to it taking a while for me to edit, and just, the upload schedule was a little bit inconsistent. It's been an interesting couple of months for me, and, I let the ball slip a little bit, and then not to mention that I just think, unfortunately, there are some issues with franchise mode still to this day where it's like, okay, if that was fixed or if that was different, this might be a little bit more interesting. I'm not going to say I'm forcing myself to play the game. I enjoyed the last 2 series that we had just finished up. But ultimately, it's maybe I set the bar too high for this game. I'll say that at the very least. Now, I think the game plan here is that we are going to aim to take the worst players available if there is not a Russian available to us. And that's why I wanted to go back and pick Boyle, just to make sure that we were good. And, I mean, it's looking like it's going to be Jalen Smerek. Smerek? It's going to be Smerek, who ends up being the pick here from the Coyotes. Him or Blake Spears? We'll go with Smerek. Of course, Spears just went to the Coyotes. Again, these rosters are updated. Everything from Ilya Kovalchuk to Montreal and anything that happened before then. Player, overalls have been updated. You'll agree with some, you won't agree with others, and that is perfectly okay. Perfectly okay. As Alex Petrovich is Canadian, of course. I think he's Russian heritage, isn't he? With a name like Petrovich? And who the hell are we taking? Peter Cehlarik is not. Yeah, you're not Russian. Nope, damn it. Anton Bleed's not Russian either, so who the hell are we going to take? I think it's got to be the forward, or it's got to be Lagasse. And I guess we're going to go with Anton Bleed. 3 years left, huh? Ugh. That's going to be a rough deal to get rid of. Buffalo, do you actually have a Russian player? At this point, if we can find one Russian player, you'll pretty much be named the captain. Michael Frolik, for example, is here on Buffalo. So, there you go. Now, actually, I just realized, did I add the one extra contract year when I didn't mean to? I might have. So that could be weird. That could have a very weird effect on how franchise mode plays out. But at this point, I am not restarting. Not going to happen just for that. So it might make it interesting. Matt Spencer, rebuilding Hockeytown legend, and Andrew Hammond. Well, Matt Spencer is new to Buffalo, but yet again, we don't have, unless I'm just completely drawing a blank here, we don't have a single Russian player. So we are going to take Matt Spencer in this deal. Calgary, Mark Giordano is available. That is obviously not who we will be taking. There is not a single Russian player, so Justin Kirkland. Renat Valiev. I think we have a Russian finally. We do. We have our first Russian. As it stands, he will be the captain of the team. Renat Valiev is our first option. Perfect. We finally get a Russian. Carolina. Who are we getting from you? I don't know if the Hurricanes have any Russian players. It's not looking too good. Clark Bishop is shaping up to be the pick. Lindsay Nami's not available. Roland McCown. And goalie-wise, yeah, it is going to be one Clark Bishop. The good thing is, too, you could skip this part if it doesn't interest you, although it will be a shorter episode, of course. But the good thing is, you can let me know if I missed anybody, because there's obviously very good odds. Joseph Cramarosa, obviously shaping up to be the pick here from Chicago. And indeed, he will be. They left Robin Lehner available rather than Corey Crawford, because that's just how this game works. Colorado. Kamenev. Vladislav Kamenev is shaping. Ooh, him or Nichushkin? I think it's got to be Kamenev. I mean, Nichushkin in real life he's gotten a little bit better. He's actually scored some goals for Colorado now. I think it's got to be Kamenev, though. And there's not going to be anybody else. Former UMaine Black Bear, Dan Renouf. Yeah, we have our guy. So our first real pick of someone who could be an overly useful player for us. No disrespect to Renat Valiev. But Vladislav Kamenev is the selection. So we have two Russians. That's good. Wow, Cam Atkinson's available for Columbus. That's bizarre. I wouldn't exactly go along with that. Hannakainen, Gerby, Dalpe, Lilia, Dano. Oh, Jesus. Forwards. So many forwards. No, actually, well, Kirill Marchenko. Imagine if I missed Kirill Marchenko. I'm pretty sure you're Russian. Elite prospects, help me. Elite prospects. I mean, with a name like that, you never know. There's that friggin' Chris Gibson's from Finland, for God's sake. So, I mean, you never know. Kirill Marchenko is Russian, thank God. So it was Gavrikov, though. Goalie-wise, of course, nobody available. They're just like, please, take a goalie for the love of God. But Nunivara, Savard, Harrington, Kukin, Gavrikov. It's got to be Gavrikov or Marchenko. That is the option. Was Marchenko a center? He wasn't. That's actually good. Was he a left wing? He was not. Perfect. So he was a right wing. Great. High 9, 65 at 8. Yeah, it's got to be Kirill Marchenko. Gavrikov's not bad. He'd make the team better. But, yeah, Kirill Marchenko is on the Kelowna Rockets. Whether that's right or wrong, it's wrong because he plays in the VHL. But, yeah, he is the pick. Dallas. Denis Guryanov is the pick. I mean, come on. Of course he is. Of course Guryanov is the pick. Who else would it have been? I don't think we even have another option. It's Guryanov. Unless Anton Khudobin, but no. We'll look into the future. We will take a Mr. Guryanov with that pick. The Detroit Red Wings. Who do we have on Detroit that we'd actually want? Odds are they're going to have a terrible contract. We know that much. Defensively, we don't have a Russian to pick, do we? We don't. So worst player available. I suppose the argument could be I should have, is it better to take the worst player available or the worst contract? I feel like the worst contract might be more interesting. It might handcuff handcuff us a little bit too much, but I feel like it could be more interesting. We're gonna take Turner Elson with this selection because I also don't want to help out the AIs too much. I don't want to change up the dynamics of their teams too much by making certain picks. So I think we'll still just stick with the worst player available, help the teams out a little bit. As we are going to, Brad Malone might very well be the pick here. That's going to be Keegan Lowe. Keegan Lowe, come on down. From the Florida Panthers. From the Florida Panthers, we are not taking Mike Hoffman. I wish. We are going, probably not with a forward unless we take Roadwall. We are going with Roadwall. Son of a bitch. Actually, no, a goalie might be better. Let's put the Rogiers in there. Los Angeles. Well, it probably won't be a forward that we take then, right? Ferk's not Russian. And then defensively, Redikop is the pick because we're not taking Jonathan Quick. So Chaz Redikop, come on down. Minnesota, Jared Spurgeon. I wish you were the pick. Dmitry Sokolov, right? Yeah, Dmitry Sokolov could be the pick. I'm not overly excited. He's not that good, but at least he is an eligible player. And he is the selection for us today. Dmitry Sokolov, come on down. Montreal. You should have a Russian available for me, right? Right. And Lekkonen's obviously not available. Charlie Hudon. Belzile, Veroni, Mike McCarron. Defense, of course, Marco Scandella's there now. That's very, very bizarre. Oh, Christ, if I have to take Carl Alsner. I can take Charlie Lindgren instead. Thank God. That's right. Charlie Lindgren's not that good. Yeah. Unless I missed a Russian here. We're going to go for Lindgren. That'll be our third goalie. So look out for this goalie tandem. Nashville. Anybody at all? Yakov Trenin. Not bad. We used him in a series a couple of years ago, and he was pretty decent. I think it was the Columbus Blue Jackets turned Quebec Nordiques series that we had back in the day. For now, we will be taking one Yakov Trenin. So we have a couple of decent players to build around. Nobody too ridiculous so far. Hopefully this draft that we have upcoming can work out well for us. Oh, God. Who the hell do we take here? I'm not taking a goalie. Sorry, New Jersey. That's your problem. Dakota Mermis is the pick. The Mermis. The Merman. He's the pick. From the Islanders. Derek Brassard, Eberle, Cizikas, Leo Komarov. Of course, is Finnish. Johnston, Ladd, Dowcall, Hosang. All right, well, forward-wise, there was a 70 overall guy there. Defensively, I don't believe we have any Russians either. Seth Helgeson, former Devil, is definitely going to be the pick. Speaking of Chris Gibson, there you go. We are going with one Seth Helgeson from the Rangers. Do we have a Russian? It doesn't look like it. Leah Sanderson's there, though. Oh, God, yes. I don't even know if I feel right about that. I don't know if I do. The added contract year is accidentally a factor. He's there, though. Maybe we just use him to trade him because we did just use him in a series recently. But I can't turn that down. The Rangers are just letting go of all of their prospects, by the way. I can't turn that down. I absolutely cannot. From the Rangers, we're stealing away Vitaly Kravtsov. It's fair game. Absolutely fair game. From the Ottawa Senators, Artem Anisimov. Doesn't have the best contract in the world, but we could retain cap and get something for him. Or Nikita Zaitsev. Artem Anisimov. That's not even a question. Artem Anisimov is the pick if we have to choose between the two. Thank you very much, Ottawa. From the Philadelphia Flyers, who do we have? Raffle, Pitlick, Andreoff, Chris Guolo, Curtis Gabriel. Defensively, it's not great. Reese Wilcox, and then goaltender-wise, we need forwards. So we'll take Curtis Gabriel with this pick. The Penguins. Do you have a Russian? I mean, Hornqvist obviously is Finnish, or Swedish. He's not going to be available. Tanev, Simone, I got used to saying Finnish. Bluger. The Bluger. Theodor's Blugers. Aston Reese, Blandisi. Oh boy. Andreas Martinson might be the answer here. Yeah, he's going to be the answer here. That sucks a lot. Andreas Martinson, come on down. From the San Jose Sharks. Do I want any of these guys that might struggle to win a Stanley Cup? Defensively, it's probably going to be Middleton. Or the legend Tim Heed. Or we take Martin Jones. Or we will take, let's go with Jacob Middleton. The St. Louis Blues. David Perron, Colton Parayko, Barbashev. Barbashev is an option. The only option, because we're not taking De La Rose. Defensively, and again, I wish Colton Parayko was there, but he's Canadian. Bouwmeester. All right, we have our answer. We have our answer. Ivan Barbashev from the St. Louis Blues is there. From the Tampa Bay Lightning. I wish Andre Palat was Russian, but I know he's not. I wanted to look anyway. It's fine. Conacher, Jamel Smith. Dennis Jan's Canadian, isn't he? He's American. Well, there we go. I learned something today. Walcott's there. We don't have anybody available because Dom Machine's not Russian. And then goaltender-wise, we don't have a good Russian. So that sucks. Let's go with another forward. It will be Daniel Walcott. I think I said Dennis. He also plays defense. Maybe that's where the DE came from. The Leafs. Andreas Janssen, Pontus Aberg. Swedish. Trevor Moore, Patan. Dmytro Timoshov's Ukrainian, isn't he? Swedish? I could have sworn he's Ukrainian. Someone can look that up on Elite Prospects. Nobody really there. Gaudette would be the pick. Defensively, Martin Marinchin's not Russian. Damn. Well, I'm not taking Cody Ceci either. So, sorry. And then Kasky Swo is not available either. So we're going to go with Tyler Gaudette. We need at least one more defenseman. We'll see who's on the Canucks here. In terms of Russians, Sven Berchke, I wish, but you're Swiss. Roussel, Louis Eriksson, Nikolai Goldobin. Nikolai Goldobin, shaping up to be the pick. Reed Boucher. Nobody else really there. Defensively, it is going to be Goldobin. Thatcher Demko's there, but obviously not eligible because Goldobin is available. We have 2 picks left. I need 1 forward and a defenseman, ideally. And it is going to be here. Richard Panik's not available. No. Leipzig Dowd, Scarbosa. All right. Gudis. Goaltenders. Vanasek's not Russian, right? No. Who is on Winnipeg? Just to double check this. Is there a Russian on Winnipeg? Nelson Nogier is there as a defensive option. Okay, so Nogier is not Russian, but I'm going to take him as the kind of shitty defenseman. And we'll take our forward from the Capitals. So a handful of Russian players from the expansion draft. Not exactly the ideal start for us, but humble beginnings in a series like this is not exactly unsurprising. And again, this is a very, very rough roster to start with. Nobody will deny that. So taking a look here, again, I kind of regret the extra contract year, but whatever. It's not worth restarting. Just a quick look, and unfortunately, in terms of the top Russian available for us in this draft, it is the defenseman Dmitry Vorobyov. 6'3". Nothing too crazy. Is there even a decision to be made here? It's him or Oleg Zaitsev. Okay, so there's no decision to be made. I was going to leave you on a cliffhanger, but you know what? For the moment, let's just let's go through the draft, because I don't think I'm going to make any trades here. We're going to save trades for free agency. We'll just get through this extra draft as it is. The Ducks done goofed. And we'll see, again, how good this Russian guy is. I'm just going to make the picks, again, because otherwise, if I started right here, yeah, I'd trade down and get somebody decent. Let's not do that. Let's not get too crazy yet. I say yet. It's going to get pretty crazy in terms of just trying to wheel and deal and make good things happen. So Vorobyov is only a medium 6. Jesus. This is not the draft to try and wheel and deal with anyway. It certainly abused the value of the picks, but yeah, no, it's... Again, this extra draft is always just the what's left out of who wasn't drafted IRL. Sokolov is real, so I'm going to want to avoid him for that reason. All right, so out of our pinned players, we have Shirokov and Lakachev. Lakachev is real, so we're going to go for Vitaly Shirokov as a computer-generated player. Hope for the best. He's going to be garbage, though. Yep, low bottom 6. Well, he is never going to make it now, is he? Never. Who else do we have here? We might as well just take the first damn Russian we see. Igor Arbuzov from the Spokane Chiefs. Just about as bad as expected. None of these guys are ever going to make it. We do get an offer from the Sabres. I'm not going to take it. Let's just get through this draft as soon as we can. We will take Pavel Gogolev of the Guelph Storm. Again, also absolutely terrible. I'm not even going to bother trying to look for steals. They're so few and far between. Let's just get this over with. Good thing I didn't set you up with the cliffhanger on this, right? Good Lord. We will go for Marcus Volkov. Why not? How good are you? Medium bottom 6. Look out. Steal and a half in the 5th round. And in the 6th round, here, just because it's probably bothering some people, we'll sort it by potential. And yeah, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Let's go for Alexei Varlamov, who is not good. And our final pick of this initial extra draft, as annoying as it may be because of the fact that it even exists, we will be selecting Kozlov. Nikolai Kozlov, another defenseman who is not that good. So the early stages of this team, we are pretty well set up. And by that, I mean we're horrible. Absolutely horrible. But we will see what happens. Obviously, re-sign phase-wise, everyone that we just picked up is still going to be here. And that's fine. Actually, technically, adding the contract here was the right thing to do because we're heading into 1920. So these contracts here are about to expire. So that's exactly, I did the right thing, actually. So that's very, very good. We'll see what happens. But, I mean, right now, the players that we are building around, Kravtsov, Barbashev, Goldobin, Guryanov, Trenin, Kamenev, and Sokolov up front. Defensively, Renat Valiev. It's going to be an issue in this series finding top-notch Russian defensemen, but there is a certain goaltender in the year 1 draft that we will certainly have our eyes on. I am going to leave it at that. I will see you guys in the next episode. We will get this team set up, and we will begin the Season 1 sim. The early stages of this series, of course, the first few seasons, don't want to say we're going to be overlooking them, but in terms of success, not expecting any. It's mainly going to be what we can manage to do with free agency and the rest of the offseason, what the RNG is in the draft that determines how this team progresses after those initial few seasons. I'll remind you again, if you enjoyed the video, drop a like, help a guy out. Constantly get the how do you not have more subs comments. It's because you're lazy. I'm kidding. You're great, and I love you. I will see you in the next one. Until then, goodbye.